This is the next drop. I'm Shazmin Shamsuddin, and today we're speaking with Malaysia Airports Holdings Berhad, MAHB, a leading airport operator and the custodian of one of the region's pivotal aviation gateways. Now, MAHB is committed to enhancing passenger experience, driving strategic growth across its network of airports, and elevating airport management standards. To achieve these goals, MAHB has implemented a series of initiatives focusing on commercial development, facilities enhancement, and strategic airport management. With me to explore the exciting advancement MAHB is making and delve into its efforts in setting a new benchmark for airport operations and passenger satisfaction is Hani Ezra Hussin, Senior General Manager for Commercial Services, and Megat Ardian Wira Muhammad Aminuddin, Senior General Manager for Strategy. Welcome to you both.
Thank you, Shazmin.
Can you provide an overview of the key enhancements at KLIA for passengers to look forward to? We understand that there's going to be quite a lot of stuff happening in the next couple of years. Yeah, Hani? How do those align with MAHB's long-term vision for KLIA?
All right. Exciting years ahead. That's all I can say. A lot of things, but I would be able to encapsulate in the next few minutes. Basically, Malaysia Airports has embarked on what we call a reimagining passenger experience in efforts to attain our top ASQ ranking for KLIA. And one of the key things that we've done is we've actually segmentized our passenger into four types. They are premium travelers, economy travelers, families with children, elderly passengers, as well as passengers with mobility that require assistance. So with that segmentation, we've identified the needs and wants of these passengers in order for us to be able to enhance
Right.
all the amenities or services that's required by them. Okay, some of the major asset replacement that we've done, I'm sure you've read in the papers, is the Aerotrain.
Yes.
We've got good news, and I'm sure you've also read it in the papers. It will be ready by Q1 2025,
Okay.
January to be specific.
Right.
And the new train will be able to improve capacity from 60 to 90 pax per carriage. The other major asset replacement that we're doing, has already started now, is our baggage handling system. Okay, the target completion we started. There will be a progress milestone deliverables, but the end completion will be between 25 to 26.
Right.
And with that enhancement, we will be able to double the capacity from 4,000 to 8,000 bags per hour to improve the efficiency and the speed of the baggage
Right.
retrieval.
So that means when you get off the flight, you can expect your bags to kind of be waiting for you, I hope.
Faster, but I hope you don't, because we have a lot of retail offer, which I'll be talking about it later. Shop first before you
Wonderful.
collect your bag. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So also we have, and in the process of integrating our My Airport apps to allow the live tracking of the baggage. So, a lot of times you get worried whether your bag will arrive with you or not.
Yeah.
So we're actually working on that technology where we'll be able to track
Okay.
your bag.
I
and the
think that's
location.
something a
Yeah.
lot of people would be really interested in, seeing
Yeah,
how that
knowing.
works.
Correct. Okay, so additional to that, we have facilities enhancement that I'm sure if you've traveled recently, you've seen that our toilets are all has been refurbished. The suraus have been upgraded, beautifully done. We've also improved our bus operations with new apron buses.
Okay.
In terms of the digital enhancement, we have improved our My Airport app, as well as introducing facial recognition and self-service check-in and self-bag drop service.
Right.
Okay.
A lot of people, I'd like to interject. A lot of people are worried about the, self bag drop off service because they don't trust, I guess, technology. They'd rather have someone behind the counter, making sure the stickers are on properly. And so how do you
Ensure?
get that, get people's, the public's kind of, I guess, the confidence on that.
Confidence, yeah. I suppose it's a lot of, just like those days when we are not even ready to be cashless. Now everybody, it's
Yeah.
almost everyone is so comfortable just tapping their phone. So that is actually an education process, which in time we believe, of course, with all the PDPA and all this securities that we have to embed, is very secure. Anything that is actually introduced in the airport environment is highly regulated.
Mhm.
Okay, and I believe the facial recognition is also not stored; it's actually
Yes.
disposed of after
Okay.
each use. Okay, so apart from that, we also provide free service for baggage assistance at curbside as well as the baggage carousel. And there's also premium buses to transfer the first and business class
Mm.
passengers while waiting for the train to come back. Okay, all right,
Okay.
okay, and I'm sure you've also seen the BMWs introduced by MES,
Mhm.
transporting the business and first class passengers to
Right.
the satellite.
Okay. All this said, well and done, and it's we're looking forward to these enhancements and facilities. But the toilets have always been a topic of discussion. No matter where you go, any public toilet. Um, Even though we have enhancements and refurbishments, what are the plans therefore for cleanliness? Because
Mm,
the issue of cleanliness has always been a Malaysian issue, no matter where you go in the country.
mm.
So, are we going to see any improvements in that area?
So we have installed certain service standards and maintenance, so that you will have a person that is actually always available in the toilet to ensure that the cubicle is actually mopped up upon after someone
Leaving,
exiting, leaving the
yeah.
cubicle. And there's also a system at the exit. If you're not happy with the service, you can actually rate them. So all these are
Okay.
actually ongoing. It has actually been introduced, but
Mm,
we're really monitoring closely in terms
yeah.
of the feedback that we get from the passengers itself. And I believe, like you said, this toilet thing is a whole
It's a
Malaysia
Malaysian
problem.
issue, yeah.
It's not just, yeah,
You go to
it starts with
Singapore, you go to
education.
Thailand, it's fine. Suddenly you
Correct,
balik Malaysia, pergi,
correct.
airport
Yeah, yeah.
toilet, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, and also because the airport is a very high transfer,
Yeah.
space where we have 30 million passengers just for one terminal. So you can
Hmm.
imagine the amount of packs that goes through our services and
Yeah.
amenities. So we will have to ensure that the maintenance program is properly managed. Yeah, because sometimes when you have overly usage of a particular zone and area, for
Yes.
example, of a toilet, it might need to be upgraded before it is time. Yeah, so things like
Mm.
that are actually being tightly monitored with the maintenance team.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if I may add also, the resource allocation for the workers who come and clean, they're based on the peak times of the airport. So there are certain times at airports where there are a
There's
lot
a
more
lull.
flights that comes in, a
Mhm.
lot more flights that takes off, especially early in the mornings and late at night. Those are the ones where we increase the manpower resource allocation, so they will actually be on standby whenever that happens.
Okay, wonderful. Now, how has the introduction of the digital enhancements like the My Airport app and the facial recognition self-service systems improved operational efficiency and passenger experiences at KLIA?
So as we were talking about it earlier on, it's still at infancy stage,
Yeah.
especially when you say a lot of people are really worried about the security part of the technology.
Yes.
So we had to do a lot of education, as well as getting prominent people to probably uh, do Instagram or TikTok
Right,
videos to
right.
actually show how simplified your
Experience can
journey
be, yes.
is if you actually sign up to that, because it really fastens the whole process. You don't really have to wait for the queue to present your passport again at the point of security. Normally when you
Mm.
check in, after that you have to go through a security, right, to present your
Mm-hmm.
passport before you go to immigration. But with the facial recognition, you just use that system all the way
Okay.
until the boarding gate. You don't even have to queue. Normally, they will call for the first business class passenger to queue up first. Now you get to queue alongside the first and business class passenger,
Okay.
because there's a special lane just for the facial recognition. So that's how fast the system is. And if I may, we are also working with the IT department to expand this facial recognition service into the retail outlets as well.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
because like now the only technology that we have is obviously just cashless payment, and there's a self checkout counter in our duty free stores.
Mhm.
But with facial recognition, hopefully we will be able to also induce the loyalty part of the business. People, the retail outlet will be able to recognize you the next time you come, to give you probably
Yeah.
incentives or vouchers and whatnot, because yeah,
Yeah.
and also fast service, and the improved airport security also will accurately verifies the identity of the passengers to avoid fraudulent cases, because it's your face, you can't
Yeah.
borrow it to someone else, right? And any impersonation. Yeah, so
Right.
that is actually one of the best security features that we most airports are actually also doing now.
I mean, how many airports are already doing this globally?
Maybe Megat can help me with that.
Globally, we don't have the exact number, but most of the major hubs around the world actually have that, or they will actually implement that soon enough.
Mm.
The ones in Changi, they use that, the facial recognition. Dubai also uses that, and most of them actually use for not just for their nationals, but also for any
Incoming.
national that has the passport chip in them. So
Okay.
it
So I take it
basically,
we have the
Not,
chip
yeah,
for
major
that.
but
airports around the world.
not
Also.
many yet. Only
Yeah,
the
Okay.
major ones like Changi,
yeah,
Dubai. They are also
Ah,
starting,
yeah.
I
embarking.
see.
So we're joining the bandwagon.
Okay.
That's right.
Sorry, this is a question for all the Luddites out there, me included. I mean, when you are self-checking in your bag, how can you ensure that you're doing what you're doing is the correct thing? Because I'm notorious for this. If I'm worried that I'll do it, my bag is gonna end up in Australia. I'm on my way to the UK. I
Yeah.
mean, what's the I guess the personal error
All right.
margin for
So
this?
there will be, I think there will be assistance at the, I think, self-service baggage drop.
Okay.
There will be our customer experience staff that will be there on hand to guide you if you get stuck, or sometimes, let's say, if you're not sure how to do it, they will actually guide you. So
Okay.
there are certain individuals that we have that will assist passengers as at any time of the day.
Okay.
Now, what about new and upcoming commercial projects that will excite passengers? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So the icing on the cake is this reset exercise that we're doing in the forest area in KLIA. We're actually embarking on a project that will take us about 2 years, and that whole forest experience will be enhanced. We would like our passengers to be able to enter the forest and actually, really get
Mhm.
their oxygen in the satellite, because it's in open air, yeah?
Yeah.
And beautifying it with a lot of other natural elements. A lot of people talk about sustainability and all that. So
Yes.
we are embedding that in part of our, apart from building retail experience around the forest, but
Mhm.
we actually enhancing and ensuring that that part of sustainability is embedded in our retail expansion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I every time I'm at KLIA, it's always a mad rush.
Mm.
So I never get a chance to go to the forest.
Mm.
Can you tell us actually where it is in the airport?
Okay.
I've always missed it for some reason.
The forest?
Yes.
Okay. If you go, there's no train now, but if you go on a
Yeah.
train, right? The
Yes.
moment you alight the train, it's
Uh-huh.
just right in front of
Right
you.
there?
You
Okay.
get out, it's just right in front of you.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of times people missed it.
Mm.
So that's the reason why this is one of the big enhancement that we're doing. We want people to be able to actually experience the flora and fauna that we have. And
Mhm.
the interesting part is that there's trees that has been built from the beginning, from the onset of KLIA.
Right.
It's almost 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, the trees are that long.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a measure of time right
Correct,
there,
correct.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And also how,
27 years to be specific. From 1998, that's when
wow.
KLIA was built. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Do we feel old yet?
Now I feel young. A lot of things to do still.
And yeah, and things are improving and things are, I guess, evolving. So definitely a lot to look. Now,
Okay.
Magat,
All right.
KLIA has been ranked fourth globally for connectivity. This was
Mhm.
in 2023 and the first in Asia Pacific. What specific strategies has MAHB implemented to enhance long haul
Okay. So
connectivity?
for long haul, let's start with what we have now. In 2023, at the end of 2020, start 2024, we have 70 airlines. That's just one more than we had in 2019 with 69 airlines. And by the end of the year, we should be reaching about 73 to 75 airlines throughout the all continents, actually, except for the Americas. How we do that is actually the strategies going into for 24, 25, 26 for the next 3 years. is we're looking at specific regions. Now, we're very strong in ASEAN. Domestically, we have four local carriers. Again, it's very strong in ASEAN, and there are a lot of ASEAN carriers that comes into not just KLIA, but our international airports, Penang, Langkawi, KK, as well as Kuching. What we build the hub on is actually Kuala Lumpur, and that's where I think four of our regions that we're targeting will enhance that connectivity even stronger. Number one, it will be China. Now, China market, it was very strong in 2019. It has shown strength as it's coming back. There are a lot more Chinese carriers that's coming in, a lot of local carriers that also ply the route into major points in China. But we are also targeting new airlines that's coming out of China. Now, China also has quite a lot of new airlines from new destinations. So we're targeting new airlines from new destinations so that they can have new routes coming into Kuala Lumpur, into Penang. So that's the China story. The next one would be India. So India, we have a lot of local carriers that fly into India. Malaysia Airlines, AirAsia, Batik. However, we don't have the same number of Indian carriers that comes into Malaysia.
Right.
So this is where we're targeting Air India as well. So Air India have also said that they will come into Malaysia at the end of quarter four, at the end of this year, or even at the beginning of next year. We're also targeting Indigo. So there are a lot of other Indian carriers that's coming into Malaysia. So they're utilizing their rights as well for Malaysia. So then there will be a balance between the local carriers as well as the international Indian carriers. Third region would be, I would say Middle East, but it's more Central Asia per se. Air Astana is coming back on also quarter three, quarter four. We're also targeting Kazakhstan as well as Turkmenistan for the airlines to come back. So it's Middle East, but also centralized in Central Asia. We're very strong in Middle East. We also look for frequency increases of all the full service carriers, the Qatars, Emirates, and Etihads over there, as well as some other carriers like Kuwait Airways. So very targeted airlines for Middle East. Now, the challenge, the fourth region, the challenge is where we have a lack of European airlines that comes into Malaysia on a direct route. We also have a lack of local carriers flying into Europe. The only one that does it is actually Malaysia Airlines, and they only have one route, which is London. However, we are targeting again specifically new routes that comes into points in Europe into Malaysia. So we're really aggressively working with the airlines to get them over. So those are the main strategies and the regions that we're going into.
Okay.
Yeah. And also when we look into these carriers, into the passengers, we also look at what sort of passengers they bring in, because when they come into the country, we are the gateway, and when they come into the country, they will go to Hani's shops first. Right? So she works with me very, very closely to see, okay, what sort of passengers that come in, whether it be leisure, business, and how much will they spend, right? So and we also sometimes, especially where China is concerned, we target specific cities that we know that they actually will spend when they come to Malaysia. So the question is how do we bring them in? How do we entice them in? So airports, or let me start with airlines first. The way airlines look at routes, especially new routes, is, okay, will this route make money? And they see what sort of passengers will fly on. They see what sort of aircraft they want to fly it on, and then they will go on their cost. So the cost of flying that route is so and so. So therefore, the market price or demand should be way above that. And is there a demand for that price? And that's where they see whether they make money. Now, when they have done those calculations, they will. It is a little bit of a two-way street where they will come to us and saying, okay, we're interested in flying to Kuala Lumpur, Penang. What can the airport give us? So it's a bit of a two-way thing. We also will go to some of these airlines, like I mentioned before, to say, okay, we're interested to bring you in. What do you need, right? So the things that we actually offer them the incentive programs, and we have different incentive programs for new routes, for new airlines especially. But the main thing that we offer is landing and parking waivers.
Mm.
So it's you don't pay for the first 2 years, for example,
Right.
of your operations, just to entice you, just to catalyze that. We also have very good rates for office rentals if they need. We also have rates for some aero bridges and check-in counters. Again, it's for a year or two.
Mhm.
um, Landing waivers, I mentioned parking waivers, but we also give marketing incentive. So the airlines, when they start a route, they would have to advertise that. They would have to market that via their social media, or sometimes they actually buy space on advertising. So as and when they spend, we also give them a cap spending of how much they spend, and that's where we actually compensate them as well. So there's a marketing spend. So we go to some of these airlines. We say, okay, if you're interested, this is what we can give you. Now it helps with their bottom line in a way, and it helps them to kickstart that route. But once after the 2 years incentive is done, we find that most of the airlines can actually sustain those routes with the, I think when they start those routes, when the demand is there, so they need to build up that routes for the first 2 years, and that's where we help them with the
Right.
incentives.
Langkawi International Airport
Yeah.
is actually my favorite airport
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
Malaysia. And, what are the, I guess, plans there for
Mhm.
international travelers to come
All right.
as the first stop?
Okay, so with Langkawi, it's you have two sorts of airlines that comes in. Number one is the normal schedule airlines, the ASEAN market. But what we also trying to entice some of the other airlines from the Middle East to fly direct to Langkawi, China as well to fly direct to Langkawi, and that's where we give those incentive and new routes. That's the first one, the scheduled airlines. Now there are also chartered flights,
Flights,
and
yeah.
this is where with charter airlines. This is very interesting because the demand comes from those various cities that don't really have scheduled carriers. So what we do is we work together with the Langkawi Tourism.
Mhm.
We work with the tourism over on that side, the tour agencies on the other side in China, for example. They will create that demand, or maybe that demand is already there.
Mhm.
Now they say, okay, for Langkawi, I can actually have maybe about 2,000, 3,000 people over 1 month that wants to come over, and they will actually talk to the airlines, to some of the airlines over there, to start the flights. Where we come in, where Malaysia Airports come in and say, okay, for those airlines that come in, this is what we give you: the waivers on landing, on the parking,
Mhm.
on the advertising side as well. That's where we give them that special incentive. So that adds on to their, or that adds on to their bottom line a bit. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how we assist them.
Now, given that KLIA and LIA achieved a perfect score in ACI's Airport Service Quality Surveys for 2021, and of course, all the multiple awards that you won in 2023, how do all of this reflect on MAHB's capacity to manage and enhance airport quality as well as passenger experience?
Okay. As Hani, I think, elaborated earlier on I think the reimagining passenger experience. So that covers the airport experience for the passenger side, from the curb side all the way to the boarding gates, right? So each touch point, that's where we try to ensure that we have the cleanliness is there, the customer service is there, and of course the security and airport quality experience is there. So with KLIA, by us doing all those initiatives, what happens is ASQ, the Airport Service Quality, run by ACI, Airports Council International, they actually will have surveys with all the passengers. Those surveys cover domestic, it covers international, and it ranges from questions to questions, from various questions. So once we get those surveys in, or once they get their surveys in, then that's where they rank. So KLIA has come, I think, a perfect score of 5, and Langkawi as well for those size airports 2021. And in 2023, at the Global Customer Experience Summit, KLIA won the easiest airport journey, the most dedicated airport staff, most enjoyable airport, as well as the cleanest airport. So we have those accolades based on all those initiatives that we did. It also was the top 10 in a category of 40 million, over 40 million passengers in 2014, 2020, 22, as well as 2023. So all those initiatives that we've been doing and we're still currently doing, it reflects how management, or how not just management but all our staff, how we're very anchored to execute
Yes.
those projects and to serve the customers better. And that results in all those ASQ and ACI awards and rankings that we have.
Well, it looks like we definitely have a lot to look forward to.
Yep.
I know I'm traveling internationally at the end of the year, so I will be on the lookout for all of this, from the curbside baggage handling, that's free. It's free, right?
Yes, free,
Yes.
free.
To,
Facial
you know,
recognition is also free.
yes.
Yep.
Backdrop is free.
Yep.
And
Everything's free.
faster too.
Yeah,
Yep.
and getting my bag to go
Yep.
through it on
Yep.
on its own, and and cleanliness of the toilets, all of that. So, well, Magat and Hani, thank you so
you.
much for joining us today on the Next Drop.
Most
All right,
welcome.
thank you.
And thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.